Finally got a chance to wash my truck. It's all shiny now. Had a interesting week. At least my truck is clean. Yep. A while back I changed my hub seal cover and it started leaking again. And then I found out that inside of that blue thing right there, that's where a lot of lubrication is in there. A lot of oil is in there, and it was overfilled. That was the reason why it was leaking everywhere. I thought it was having issues, but it was just overfilled. So when I took it in, they went ahead and took out a lot of that oil that was inside, and now it doesn't leak anymore. It's clean. And after the truck wash, my rims are finally clean again, because it was covered in grease for a long time. It kept coming out. But now I figured it out, and we're golden now, or chrome at least. What's going on, my people? This week was a slow start, and it finished with a lot of assignments. And I don't like doing this, but I had to work on the 6th day. As you know, I like working about 12 to 14 hours each day, and this week it started off really slow. One assignment a day. And then at the end, they gave me a couple long runs, and it got busy. So I worked till 2 o'clock on Sunday this week, which I don't like doing. But it is what it is. I got the miles in, and I'm not complaining, but it did shorten my weekend. Now, I had a problem with my truck in the beginning of the week where I noticed that there was a lot of lubrication that was seeping out through the hub seal. And I had that problem before. I took it into maintenance. They said it was going to take a while for them to take a look at it, and the guy was nice enough to just check it out, and he realized that there was just too much lubrication that was inside the hub. So he went ahead, put his fingers in there, and just scooped it all out. And once he did that, it was no more leak. It was just overfilled. I didn't know that. The guy who fixed it the first time didn't know that. So it ended up working out. At the end of the week, I went ahead and got a truck wash, and when I got the truck wash, it looked brand new. Everything was shiny again, and I didn't have this gunk built up all around the center of my wheel. So the more you drive, I think the more you learn about these little things, and I think it's helpful knowledge. Now I ended up getting about 2,300 miles at the end of the week, and it wasn't too bad. I was going to end up with about 1,800 if I kept going at the pace that I was going, which is frustrating. That extra 400 to 500 miles makes a huge difference, and I want to keep hitting that, but hopefully I could hit the miles early on in the week, and I could kind of taper off towards the end of the week, and I could go ahead and take my 2 full days off. This week it's like a day and a half that I'm getting off, which is legally it's okay, but you know, I rather run longer days every day. I get more tired, I think, sitting there and waiting than actually driving. So it is what it is. One of the things about driving is that you get to find new places to eat, find new places to stop, and these are important. It's like your mini adventure, because you're exploring what's out there and getting familiar with individual towns and cities that you pass through. As you know, that in most of Southern California, there aren't really any rest stops or too many truck stops that are easily accessible, that have a lot of spaces for truck parking. And that's one of the difficulties of being in some of these cities, especially Northern California and Southern California. It's like that. In between, in those long stretches of roads, there's a lot of truck stops and places to stop. And these places to stop usually have food, some of it good, some of it bad. And those are the things that you want to familiarize yourself with as you keep driving, where to stop and where to eat. So that's part of the adventure of driving. Now, in a given day, you know, you start off the morning, brush your teeth and whatnot, get ready, take care of your business in the bathroom and whatever. I usually end up getting coffee, and before I used to make the coffee, but time is so valuable to me. It's more important than the $2.50 you spend on the coffee. So now, instead of making the coffee, I try to buy the coffee as long as there's decent coffee. If there's no decent coffee, if I'm at a rest stop, then yeah, I'm making the coffee. But it's all about time. Every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes is important to me. Either it's driving time, working time, or it's personal time, and you don't get enough personal time, so you need to use your personal time wisely. If you're sitting there prepping and doing a lot of things during your personal time, it wears you out, because it's more like a continuation of work, and you want to minimize your work and save your work for the actual 14 hours when you're on duty and driving. So in a given day, you start off the morning and you do what's called a pre-trip. You always start your day with a pre-trip, and by law, I think you have to have a pre-trip and a post-trip, and they want you to have about 15 minutes at least. And if you do, normally a proper pre-trip will last between 15 to 30 minutes, and a post-trip as well. And you're basically checking out the truck, making sure everything is okay, checking out your trailer, and this is a very important part of getting going and making sure that nobody mess with your truck. And making sure that you're not going to have issues while you're driving, especially flat tires. You want to check your tires. You want to check all of your trailer area, make sure your lights are working. All the stuff that you learn in CDL school and all the stuff that they teach you at the orientation training at Schneider. It's really, really important. Now, on top of that, what I like to do is also a trip plan. Now, you have your trip plans when you get your assignments and you figure out how long it's going to take you, what your day is going to look like. But every morning, or the night before, what I'll do is I will look at what that day is going to look like, what potential stops that there are along the way, if you hit traffic and it slows you down, where you can stop early, or I guess it would be shorter distance, but later on, right? And then, if you have a smooth ride with no delays and no surprises, how far you can get and the furthest stopping point you could have that you like to stop at. And so this is why, as I mentioned before, why it's important to know or get familiar with these stopping points, these truck stops. One of the good truck stops that I found was at the bottom of the Grapevine on the north side. And it's there's two, one on each side of the freeway. One is a Petro and the other one's a TA. And the TA, I haven't been to the Petro yet, but the TA is pretty new. There's a Black Bear Diner and some restaurants in there. And the bathroom is not too great, but the actual truck parking lot is actually nice. It's wide open, it's easy to get in and out, and there's usually a lot of space there. And it looks like it's a newer facility. On top of that, they have a Blue Beacon truck wash. And for you Schneider drivers that watch this, you know that every once in a while when we get our PM, our preventative maintenance assigned to us, we also get a free truck wash at the Blue Beacon. And it was always hard for me to get to a Blue Beacon because it's so off the beaten path when you're driving. And you usually don't have that much time. One thing good about this TA was that the Blue Beacon was right in the parking lot. And so it didn't take any time. You just drive in and you could have your trailer attached to you. You just drive in and they wash you and you go. And your account is already in the system, so you tell them your truck number and then you get a nice wash. I haven't had a wash since I took over this truck. And it's a brand new truck and it looked filthy before I washed it. Now it's clean. It looks really nice. It's shiny. So that's a tip. If you guys have your wash, making a stop at that TA on the Grapevine, at the bottom of the Grapevine on the north side, getting that truck wash, as long as you have about 15-20 minutes to spare, is a good place to go. So some of the basic things that you're gonna need are like sunglasses. It gets bright out there. If you have a sunshade, those things that block out the sun in your window, those help a lot. I was putting on globs of sunblock in the beginning, and sunblock is important, but after a while they started irritating my skin a little bit, so I try to minimize the sunblock. And if I could naturally cover myself with either long sleeve shirts, and I bought these like really thin shirts that are SPF 50. They're like sun shirts with like little hoods on them. Really thin material, really, really comfortable. I wear those and then I use the sunshade, and I try to avoid using sunblock. But every once in a while, I got to put that stuff on because I will burn. And so that's very important. And then also another thing too is part of the trip planning is you want to check how much fuel you have and how far you can go before you need to fuel again, because this will mess you up if you don't plan your fueling properly. If they give you suggestions to fuel frequently, and if you stop at every single fueling stop that they suggest, you spend too much time in the fueling stations. You lose at least a good 20 to 30 minutes easy at the fueling stations. And so what I would recommend is try to delay as much as possible, but not to the point where you're risking running out of fuel. And so it gets a little tricky at times, but try to plan it properly, and you'll have a lot of success. That instead of putting in fuel 2 or 3 times, stopping 2 or 3 times, you're basically going to stop once and take care of it one shot. Now, part of the trip planning as well is that I like I said before, I use 3 different GPS devices, and I make sure that all of them are synced to the exact location that I want to go and the exact route I want to go, because sometimes they give you options of going on the 99 or the 5 or like different options on roads, and you have to think about the traffic you're going to run into. And sometimes that traffic will kill you. Sometimes that extra 10-20 miles that you go around will actually save you in time, and also I think in fuel too, because you're not sitting there in traffic with your engine on for that extra hour and a half. Because sometimes in Southern California, when you're driving through the 210 all the way to Ontario or San Bernardino, wherever you're going, you're spending a lot of time going from 5 to 20 miles per hour back and forth and stopping at times, and it takes a long time. And when you take that long, your engine's on that much longer, so you do the math, like you're going to use that much more fuel. So if you do a detour and go around like 15 miles around, it's a lot better. You know, I think it's better all the way around in terms of fuel savings and also in terms of time. Another thing that I do frequently is to constantly check the stock of my goods, my personal things that I need. Paper plates that I use for the microwave, plastic forks and spoons, trash bags, things like shower necessities, Q-tip, things like that, soap, shampoo. Some of these truck stops have that stuff in there, but you know, you like using your own stuff. Toilet paper is a big thing. And I have to make sure that all this stuff is stocked, you know, properly so that I don't run out. Another thing that I suggest that you do and that I do is every once in a while when you have downtime, just stop and relax and you can close your eyes, just make an assessment of your body condition. Are you hurting anywhere? Are you stiff anywhere? Do you have like pain anywhere? You know, you can lift up your arms and move them around and see if you have like stiff mobility. A lot of times, even while I'm driving, I'm putting my hand behind my head and just rotating like this, you know, and making sure that I'm not in this prone position the whole time I'm driving, because after a while, your muscles just atrophy like this. And I see some older truck drivers and they have this like old truck driver body where they're hunched over like this, and they even walk like this after probably like, I don't know, 20-30 years of driving. And you have to keep physically active. You have to stretch every time you get to a stop, truck stop or rest stop. Make sure you're moving your arms around. Make sure you get a chance to stretch your back and your legs and whatnot. And so that's crucial. At the end of the night, when you're shutting down, they make us do these DVIRs to make sure that we report that the tractor's in good condition and also that the trailer's in good condition. You have to log those every night. Yeah, so that's pretty much like the flow of the day. You know, all the stuff that happens in the morning, and then your drives and your stops, and then food in between. A lot of times I'll eat while I'm getting loaded or unloaded. Like I said, time is valuable, and so I don't sit there and take chunks of time out for food. I try to put my meal times in between the loading and unloading times, and usually you do have some loading and unloading that happens during the day, and it works out for me. And at nighttime, I try to maximize the driving all day and then try to leave myself about a 30-minute window to try to shut down. And usually when I plan it right, it's, you know, you'll have like about a 30-minute to an hour room to shut down. And so it's important to know where you're going to stop. Now, one thing I did go through this week was a thing called lumper pay and lumper. So lumper is basically third-party logistics companies or receivers and shippers getting paid to unload your cargo. And either Schneider will pay them or the shipper or receiver will pay. And it could be a third-party logistics company, or it could be a company that just requires payment for unloading. And because my account is a no-touch account, technically I'm not supposed to load or unload anything. So what this lumper does is it has the people that are working in the warehouse unload it, and Schneider, at this time, Schneider paid the company to unload me. And it was a strange process because they sent me a bill, and then when I got the bill, I had to contact Schneider, and you have this hotline, this number that you call, and it's a lumper hotline, and then they go ahead and give you a code. And I got a text from the company where you push a button and then it opens up an app, and then you fill up all the information, and then they charge you, I think it was like $470 to unload. And Schneider gives me a code, I put that code in, and then that money transfers over and it clears, and then at that point they'll give me my paperwork and I could leave. Lumper, Lumper. So that process was foreign to me because I've never done it before. It was the first time I did a lumper, and it's already been over 5 months now, or about 5 months. So yeah, so it was an interesting week. It finished off okay, and I'm hoping for a good week next week. But I just wanted to share some of the stuff that's going on and some of how my days look during these times. I went mostly to Phoenix this week, and then I went once to Napa Valley, and that was my week. So I want to thank you guys all for following me on this journey. It's a very interesting ride with a lot of ups and downs, a lot of unforeseen obstacles. Oh, also at the end of this video, I did use that AI program I was talking about in the last video, Udio, Udio. And it's an AI program that basically allows you to make songs. So I was just messing around, and I created a early 80s type song with a catchy beat. And I was having fun with it. So I used that for my footage while I have GoPro driving footage that I show at the end of these videos. And so I incorporated that music into that video. So take a look at it and tell me what you guys think. I'll probably try some different genres next time, whether it's rock or R&B or maybe some rap or whatever, just mess around with it. It's fascinating. It's crazy because AI is advancing very quickly, and it is going to change how we live and how people work. And this thing might put a lot of musicians out of business. I'm not talking about the mainstream artists that get popular and they're the face of the music, but a lot of music that's created without a face, just artistic people that maybe aren't as center stage. So I went ahead and made this quirky song, and it's a truck driving song, so hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, well, that's it for me this week. So peace, God bless you guys, and thank you again for watching this video, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.